Do you ever find yourself talking to your spouse or a friend about a camera you want to buy or a car you want to buy or a specific thing you want to buy for the next 24 hours? All you see is all these ads. You never searched it. You never did anything. Are they watching? Are they listening to you? What's your data worth? Do you know what percentage of Americans actually know anything about how marketing companies track your data, my data? You know what the number is? Less than 3% know exactly. They did a sample of 2,000 Americans asking 17 questions to see how many of these questions they would get right. This is the results. 77% got anywhere between 0 to 9 right. That's a failing grade. 15% got 10 to 11 right. 6% 12 to 13. Only 1% got 14 to 15 right. 0.03% got 16 right. Perfect score was pretty much impossible out there. Why? Most people don't know how this industry works. The whole industry, global data broker, like meaning if you're selling other people's information, you know how big that was in 2022? 268 billion. And estimated to be $365 billion in 2029. By the way, most people don't even know how this industry works. We're going to talk about that today. If you get value out of this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Let me kind of share with you what World Economic Forum said in 2011. They said it was theorized that personal data will become a new asset class and will become one of the most valuable resources on the planet. So valuable that 68% of businesses worldwide in 2021 were buying third-party data from data brokers. And by the way, if you want to see which countries were leading the way, here's what it looks like. At the top, US 73%, EU not including UK was 71%, non-EU Europe 69%, Canada 59%, Asia 56%, Latin America 51%, Middle East 48%, UK 43%, and you got the rest of them. But the US, very interested in what you and I do. Very, very interested. And just to kind of give you a visual of what this really means, in 2021, it was estimated that data brokers held information about customers that would fill, you know how many filing cabinets? Ready? 16 trillion filing cabinets with all the data they gather with you and I. By the way, do you know how much information they have on you, like with different data points? You ready? Is it like 50, you think? 100, maybe 200? That's crazy, 200, right? You ready? According to World Privacy Forum, the average data broker has information on approximately 1,500 data points for every consumer. They probably know that one girl you kissed that no one knows about. They have it in here. They probably got it here when they're selling that information. A study done by FTC found that one data broker segment alone held information on 1.4 billion consumer transactions and over 700 billion raw data elements. To put it in perspective, it's about 90 times the number of tweets sent globally in a year. So you may be saying, Pat, how is this even allowed? It's because we give them permission. How do we give them permission? Have you seen the terms of service of different companies? By the way, do you want to take a wild guess which one of these big online companies, I don't know, Amazon, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Microsoft, Apple, which one do you think has the longest terms of service that you and I sign? I'm going to break it down for you here in a minute, but there is no federal law in the U.S. that regulates the data broker industry. We give them permission, and here's what it looks like. Terms of service. Take a look at this here on which one's the longest. When you look at it here, they got Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Apple, Amazon, TikTok, Netflix, Microsoft. We got a bunch of them, right? The shortest ones are actually Instagram and Netflix. Instagram is 2,451 total word count. Netflix is 2628. You know who the longest one is? Microsoft. You know where Microsoft at? 15,260. That's terms of service. 15,260 terms of service. When's the last time you read all the terms of service? When's the last time we read them? Do we go through them? You know how long it would take if we went through all of these? That's what happens when we just say agree, they get all our data. By the way, just a bonus for you, just to put that in perspective, you know the Microsoft terms of service, the amount of words that it has? The book, Art of War by Sun Tzu, is only 12,035 words. That means Microsoft's terms of service is bigger than you reading The Art of War by Sun Tzu. Pretty wild. By the way, another thing to consider here when it comes down to data, you ever see all these websites that at the bottom, like, I want to really read this article, accept all cookies. And what do? Accept all cookies. That's also data they're getting. You know what percentage of websites have cookies? 42.4% of websites globally use cookies. 65% of survey conducted by Deloitte respondents expressed profound concerns regarding the excessive use of cookies and its potential impact on their personal data. So this industry is such a big industry. Do you know how many companies in America just focus on selling data? What do you think it is? Like, how many real estate companies are out there? How many insurance companies are out there? How many companies do you think in America just focus on selling data? You ready? You think it's 220? 580? How about 1,100? That's crazy. Try 4,000. 4,000 companies that specialize in selling your data. And by the way, they say in 2019, 45% of your information that they sold was marketing and advertising, data brokerage, market demand. But the question is, what do they do with the other 55%? What's the information being sold? No one knows. There's a lot of people speculating, but no one knows. A Pew Research survey revealed that 91% of adults agree or strongly agree that consumers have lost control over their personal data. And by the way, which industry do you think is the fastest growing in data brokerage? What industry do you think? Just take a wild guess. By 2022, the health and pharma industry, anyone surprised, is projected to have the fastest growth in data and brokerage services. And by the way, whether you're in the military or previous, or you have friends and family that are in it, this is a very interesting report from Duke Sanford School of Public Policy. Companies are gathering, inferring, aggregating, and then selling, licensing, and sharing data on Americans, as well as providing technological services based on that data. The Duke report also said data brokers are selling data on U.S. military personnel. The data brokerage ecosystem poses risk to national security by compiling large, detailed databases on military personnel and subsequently selling that data on the open market. Here's what they're gathering. Ready? I'll go through it fairly quickly. Detailed information on service members, government records, medical conditions, medical records, financial situation and credit scores, political affiliation, religious identity, gender and sexuality, address and contact information, children and family, surveys, healthcare directories, active military occupational data, on-base housing information, Department of Veteran Affairs mortgage data, hobbies such as gambling or international travel. They want to know whether you gamble or not if you're in the military. That's pretty wild. Detailed geolocation data that can be used to identify military locations and movements. Let me get this straight. We're selling the data to tell whoever wants to buy it where our military personnel is. I wonder who would want to buy that. I mean, I can't think of any countries. Definitely China wouldn't be interested. I know Iran wouldn't be interested. Russia wouldn't be interested in things like this. They don't want to know where our military personnel are. Not at all. They're trying to mind their own business. Right. Utility and new phone connection records, quote forms, order forms, sweepstake forms, partnership with list providers, commissaries on military-approved buyers, partnership with over 900 sources, including data gathered from public records, social media accounts, online purchase records, public tax documents, doesn't that have your social on it? Credit reports, national clearinghouse records, phone, email, postal surveys, call center, compilation, live feed, voter data, data from commercial resources, medical records, government records, nonprofits, serving military and veteran causes, public records, all of this stuff, they are selling that data. And by the way, what do you think your data's worth? If you're in the military watching this right now saying, I'm a Navy SEAL, I'm a Army Green Beret, I'm a sergeant, I'm an officer, I'm a colonel, I'm a one-star general. You know what they're selling this per military service member? What do you think it is? $200, $100? You're like, oh, it's got to be worth more than that. What if I told you 22 cents? That's what they're selling it. You may buy it. You're watching and say, I wouldn't want to buy it for my company, right? They're selling it for only 22 cents a pop. And by the way, I can give you so many other weird stories. I want to give you a couple random stories. FYI, every year, like your information gets stolen. Do you know how many children's information gets stolen on a yearly basis? Children's identity, 915,000. By the way, did you hear the story about the mother that stole her daughter's identity to go become a high schooler so she can have pom-poms and be a cheerleader, and she gets caught and goes to jail? Of course she's got issues. 33 years old to do this, and she steals her daughter's information. By the way, luckily, this is the mom doing it to the daughter. Imagine if a stranger's doing it to somebody else. This is the story of Wendy Brown, who stole her daughter's information, Jamie. That's mom-daughter. 915,000 per year. But let me give you another one. I'm going to take you back to a story in 2004. Back in the days, people have been stealing information for a long time. In 2004, Facebook, I think, came out in 2004, give or take. That's like when these guys come out. We're not yet using social regularly. This guy named Philip Cummings is working at this company. He's got a regular desk job at Teledata Communications in Long Island, New York, and he helped people run routine credit checks. When he left his job, he packed up his belongings along with the confidential information that belonged to 33,000 people. Him and his accomplice end up selling this thing to other people that were interested. You know how much the fine was at the end? The U.S. Department of Justice estimated they made somewhere between $50 to $100 million. Data has been important for a very, very long time. Back in the days, people did it this way. Today, it's a lot easier because you use all these apps regularly and you're always accepting cookies and you're always accepting terms of service. You're not sitting there for 10 hours reading all these terms of service. So guess what? We're essentially giving them the permission to use all our data. And military information is being sold for 22 cents on a dollar. So let me give you an idea with all this data stuff where I'm not concerned and where I am concerned. So for example, if you're using the data to retarget and sell me a product that I showed a little bit of interest in, cool. I get it. It's on me to say yes or no. Now, some people are like, but that's not cool. They're targeting and all this. Stop it. You know, if you want to go to a market, supermarket, go to Ralph's, go to Kroger's. Where do you think they have their milk? Right in the front? The number one product people buy when they go to a market is what? Milk. They put that shit all the way in the back because they want us to do what? Walk all the way to the back and like, I'm only going to buy milk. And then you're like, bam, 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 bam. You went to buy milk for $5. You end up leaving it at $88. They use it. You fell for it. I fell for it all the time. It's normal. Costco does it. Where do they put all the stuff that we have to buy? Meat is where? 17 miles all the way down. You got to walk up and then you got another 45 minutes of stuff you're going to pick up. Next thing you got a case of mustard as if you're going to start a side business of selling mustard. Why do you need 17 years of supply of mustard? Well, you picked it up. Like, you know what? I'm going to save some money as if you're going to use mustard, all that in a month. So I don't mind if they're retargeting to sell me a new product or the same product I'm interested in. I'm okay with that. What I am concerned about is the movie Minority Report, if you remember it, which was future behavior, future crimes you can commit. There's this show on HBO called Westworld where they have this AI system that based on this AI, do they hire you? Do they not hire you? Are you good to come on board? What if they do this and what if they do that? And you know, you're not a good person to hire because your behavior in the future is going to be. That's the stuff that gets a little bit interesting where can people get arrested on a future crime? Can people get held back for certain things? You know, China's already using the social credit system to track what you can get, what you can't get. Voting, this is where you're going to be at, and they put you in a box. That's the part that's a little fishy to me. I have no problem with capitalists trying to put their product in front of me to buy it over and over again. I'm okay with that. I'm a big boy. If I buy it, great. If I don't buy it, I have to be able to control it. It's the other things that I'm a little bit concerned about. So I'll give you a couple things as a solution while you're going through this, because I know some of you guys that are paranoid people, you're freaking out right now. Like, oh my God, what do I do? Take all the apps down. Delete every app you got. Get off of everything, right? So I'm not telling you that, but you have to know it's a different world we're living in. It's better to be aware. Here's a few things on how to protect your personal data. Freezing your credit is one way to do it. Being alert for scams. There's a lot of different apps you can use to give you alerts on somebody's using the things that they're using. I get so many alerts when somebody buys. Like, how'd you know? Because I got alerts that I know who's buying and who's using what. Practicing good password hygiene, protecting your devices, locking up your stuff. A sound data security plan is built on 5 key principles, is what FTC tells you. Number 1, take stock. Know what personal information you have in your files and on your computers. Number 2, scale down. Keep only what you need for your business. Number 3, lock it. Protect the information that you keep. Number 4, pitch it. Properly dispose of what you no longer need. And last but not least, plan ahead. Create a plan to respond to security incidents. So if you got value out of this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. By the way, this is probably an episode you may want to watch with your spouse, mom, dad, grandparents. It's probably something everybody needs to watch to learn more about it. But I interviewed somebody a few years ago, a guy named Matthew Cox. You've probably seen him on TV. This was FBI's most wanted guy in the area of loopholes in the system. He actually breaks down how he would defraud banks using other people's credit. Absolutely wild what he did. If you want to learn exactly how they use it, you may as well learn it from somebody that did it for many years and made millions of dollars doing this. If you've never watched this before, click here to watch it. Aside from that, have a good day, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye, bye-bye.